amazing. Life's a book, don't get stuck on sad pages. Rainy days with no money. Hard work leads to days that are sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned in to the prisoner to painter. Prisoner to painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner to painter. And now, a word from your local Pope dealer.
And we are back.
Perfect. Welcome to the Prisoner to Painter podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott.
And I'm Katie
And
McDermott.
today joining us, Justin Street. Howdy. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you guys
Doing great, man. Thank you for coming on, dude.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I know you said that the sooner the better. Are you training for a fight, or are you going to be training?
It's a possibility. We're in the hat right now, so we could possibly get the call any day from now. So yeah,
Right on. Heck
hopefully we get July. I'll be back in Hollywood, Florida.
yeah.
If not, it'll be Sturgis at the biker rally. So I mean, that could be a good one.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Well, man, we'll get into that here in a little bit, but I do the same thing for every guest. I start in childhood, go from childhood to school, and then like what was the turning point and what your definition of success is. So I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Questions differ, people differ clearly. So, but kind of the same format. So, right on. So, how would you best describe your childhood?
Rough. I
Okay.
mean, grew up poor. Me and my brother, we had to learn how to fight back to back at a young age. Growing up in a neighborhood where colored mattered.
Okay.
We were like the only white family that lived in the neighborhood, or in the trailer park, I should say.
Okay.
And so, I mean, you had to learn. You had to pretty much fight for survival.
Okay.
You had to, like I said, fight back to back. So
Right on.
the one day my brother didn't go to school, I ended up getting my face kicked in, teeth knocked out, ribs broke, all that stuff. That's what honestly made me the fighter I am today. That happened when I was 9 years old, and at 13, my Uncle Mike was walking me into a boxing gym, and
Okay.
the rest is history.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I've heard Mike Tyson say like fighters like you are like made to fight, and then the people that just choose to. So sounds like you had one choice was to
No,
become a fighter for sure.
I was definitely born a fighter, born a warrior, or in my past life was a gladiator or something.
Okay.
I mean,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up. I was born and raised in Southfield at Providence Hospital, and then I was raised in Livonia. Or grew up a little bit in Livonia, then we kind of like bounced around a little bit everywhere: Southfield, Detroit, Radford, back to Livonia, back to Westland, a little bit everywhere. But
You think you get seen more fighting like in Livonia, Detroit area compared to out this way?
no, I mean where it all started was here in Jackson.
Oh,
I mean, I used
okay.
to fight for Prison City Fight League. So I
Okay.
mean, when I first made the switch over to MMA,
Mhm.
oh man, almost 10 years ago, 13 years
Yeah.
ago, I did all my fights were pretty much here. I won the title for Prison City Fight League. I was the champion here in Jackson
No shit.
at 135. So there's a lot of history here in
Yeah.
Jackson. So when you said, hey, come out here to Jackson,
Yeah.
it was like kind of like, oh, hey, this is going to be, kind of cool. You get to go out here, and it's like, going down memory lane.
Oh yeah.
So
Do you know Don Williams?
that sounds familiar.
Grandpa,
Yeah.
what they call
Yeah.
him. Yeah, I ask because it seems like every fight you see. So I know him from recovery, but it seems like every fighter knows that guy. It seems like every single fighter I
Yeah.
talk to is like, oh yeah, Grandpa, or Don, or whatever.
Yeah, we used to fight at Rack Sports Bar.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't thought about
yeah. I was like, we got to stop by there. We got to.
Like Monster Motors now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a car dealership now.
That's crazy.
I remember the last time I was there was like a show, like a glow party show or something, and it was way before weed was legal and people were smoking and the cops busted in. There were too many
jeez.
people fighting. It was the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember Rack Sports Bar. They had little chickens running around, and then we'd be walking to get ready to warm up to fight. I'm like, oh God, what am I getting myself into? But
Fucking why?
Yeah.
Well, so it says born, I do as much research as I can, but born November 18th, 1992.
Yep.
So that makes you 27?
No,
30,
32.
32. Okay, let's go my math. Okay.
I wish I was 27. Yeah. Those are the glory days.
Fuck. Man, I'm just hitting there. They don't feel too glorious. What did mom and dad do for work?
So my mom got sick when I was young. I would say probably around like 9.
Wow.
She was diagnosed with COPD, asthma, and a whole bunch of lung problems to where she was forced to be put on an oxygen cord and
Okay.
couldn't really do anything. She was like kind of like prone to only 30 feet.
Okay. Because the line.
Because-
Gotcha.
And that was pretty much it. So growing up, I mean, my mom didn't really do too much.
Mhm.
My dad was like my coach for
Okay.
football, baseball, pretty much whatever we did.
Right on. Pretty
and
good relationship there then.
growing up, yeah, I would say so.
Cool.
But yeah, and then now, you know, we, me and my father, my mom actually, she passed away 7 years ago. 7 years ago now.
Okay.
So I mean, we were her caregivers before she passed away, and
Okay.
that was rough. I mean, it's still, you know, something that kind of like bothers you every day. You
Yeah.
wake up and you kind of regret some of your decisions that you made. You know, you wish you would have been closer, you know, so on and so forth. But I mean, I just try to, you know, keep one foot in front of the other, and I just keep, you know, keep chugging along because I know that's what she would want to do.
Mhm.
So
Right.
and that's the best way I can live for her.
Yeah.
You know. So, but me and my dad, we work together. We do concrete now.
Okay.
Me and my dad and my brother, we work for M&D Concrete.
Right on.
So I mean, there's a really good relationship between us three there.
Fuck, how does that, man? That's got to be rough. Where me and my cousin can't even work together. I couldn't imagine working with my
Yeah,
dad.
we work pretty good together. I mean,
Cool.
obviously, you know, there's the, you know, you got a trash talk. You got,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you got, you know, your brother, you got your dad. I mean,
Yeah.
there's, you know, a lot of playing around that goes around, but at the end of the day, we're business first.
Right
You know,
on.
I mean, we know when it's time to get down and gritty, and we know when it's, you know, playtime, and that's what makes the difference.
Right on.
So do you like lay the concrete, cut the concrete, you finish it,
We
you
do
do
it
all of
all.
it?
We do it all. Yeah.
So
From start to finish.
sidetrack before we go with it. How did that feel, dude? Right down the
Oh,
middle.
yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit.
5.5 hours worth.
Oh, jeez.
And I'll tell you what, my tattoo artist, Gypsy Soul, Tony Loden, I mean, he's a
It
madman.
looks good. It looks.
He's phenomenal with his work, and he's got a light hand. So, I mean, in all honesty, this didn't really even hurt that bad until he got about right here. And that's when it, like, really got sensitive.
I've heard
Yeah.
mixed reviews about like the neck area.
I'm talking right down Adam's apple.
No, right here, honestly, like this was honestly the best part. This is where he started, and then once he did this, he went this way, and then when he got to right here, it was like, all right, time out. Yeah, 5.5 hours worth. It was
Yeah. Whole get up done by
5.5 hours, shaded and everything. That's what I'm saying. He's phenomenal with what he does. So,
Good. Fucking thing. Childhood friends.
Alex Dominguez, Brandon Bass.
Damn, remember the names. Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are, you know, Chris Chalk,
Okay.
Josh Bobish,
Right on.
Dean Tarnowski.
Are you close with any of them?
Still talk to him till this day.
Nice.
Yeah. Pat Lefford, Tim Lefford. I mean, yeah, those are, you know, people I consider family to this day. They're brothers, they're, you know, cousins, you know, my kid calls them uncle. And so, I mean, yeah.
Well, that's good to keep friends close like that, or I guess family really at that point, but it's cool to have people that close. That's all.
Oh, 100%. I mean, support is everything. You know, I tell everybody this. I mean, I wouldn't be able to get into the ring if it wasn't for the support that, you know, I have behind me, you know, and I couldn't ask for a better support system between, you know, my wife, my kids. I mean, it's just, like I said, I couldn't ask for a better life, a better, you know, support system. It's really a blessing.
Cool, man. Sorry, I apologize. Sometimes I feel like my nervousness bleeds onto the show. So, dude, I've done 25 of these now, and they don't get any easier. Like I love it. I get nervous. I stutter, whatever. But what's your favorite and least favorite memory of childhood?
My least favorite is probably all the times taking my mom to the hospital. My most favorite, I would probably say, walking the trails. Like me, my dad, my brother, my mom, we used to always walk the trails, like go hiking and stuff. And I mean, yeah, that was before my mom got sick, but like those are like the good memories that I think about her, you know what I'm saying? Because she got sick when I was young. And then after that, I mean, there wasn't really much that she could do. So,
well, those are good memories to hold on to, man. So I try to lighthearted after serious always. Is there any imaginary friends?
No.
When you were
No.
a kid?
No,
Okay.
imaginary.
Right. Were you ever in any trouble as a kid? And did you have any hobbies and activities? Like, I'm curious of when did fighting start as a hobby? Were you boxing? Or anything?
Yeah, so I mean, it started when I was 13. I was always fighting. I was always, that kid that had like anger problems, and didn't know how to deal with it. So when my uncle Mike, he introduced me to boxing, it changed everything. I mean, I walked into Dynamic Boxing Club at 13 years old, and I just remember looking around and seeing the people in the ring and they're fighting each other, and I'm like, really? They're fighting each other? They're not getting in trouble? Like, hold on, I can do this? Wait, so, and instantly I fell in love, and just one thing led to another, and I learned how to not bottle up my anger, but learned how to put it towards good, not bottle up towards bad, and use it to where in a fight how to use it as good energy, and to make that ball roll down that hill.
So you learn how to like regulate your feelings.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Curiosity, then you said control or whatever. Do you ever purposely make yourself mad before a fight, like in terms of I'm gonna beat your ass?
Like in your
Like
100%. 100%. I mean, it's hard to go in there being friends with the guy, being buddy. I mean, it is a lot easier to fight somebody hating him.
Yeah.
So I mean, my last opponent was perfect for that. I mean, the guy was mouthy. He covered every aspect that I needed him to for me to hate him. And I mean, he was calling out my wife on social media. He was calling out my kids on social media. It was unprofessional, and it's just so he took it to the next line, and it caused a lot of drama. I mean, we were supposed to fight back in February of last year. He was arrested. A lot of controversy, in the mix, and then all that led to him running his mouth for a whole year before we even got to fight again. And I didn't even think he was going to be able to fight again. So to hear, have to listen to this guy, talk, and then he's tagging you in everything he can tag you in.
Yeah.
He's tagging other people that are tagging you and your family. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So when I finally got the chance to put my hands on that guy, I couldn't wait.
I was just gonna ask. You won.
Oh, yeah. That was second round TKO, Dr. Stoppage.
Damn.
I mean,
I
would have liked for it to go further, but unfortunately, I mean, our health can only take so much.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't let somebody kill somebody, can you?
Yeah.
So from childhood to school, I tried to transition. I tried to transition smoothly, but I never do. So, how was elementary school for you?
Elementary school was decent.
The reason I ask is because I feel like that's when bullying starts. Either you were bullied or you are the bully. I've had both on the show. So, bullying, any experience both ways with that?
I would say I was bullied in elementary school because after I was jumped, I had chipped teeth.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can only imagine how that goes for a kid that goes through, public schools. I mean, kids are ruthless.
Yeah.
And they're going to let you know how they feel or what they think, and they just don't care. And that's, it was a life lesson. I learned how to become comfortable in my own skin. At a very young age, to where I didn't care what people thought. I didn't care what you looked at me. It didn't matter to me anymore. And I think it kind of like helped me in a way.
God, some adults never get that. So for you to learn it as a kid is great.
I was kind of forced to. It was either that or you're fighting every day, And I mean, it was just at some point you just have to learn how to take that curve and just ride with it, and just roll, you know, and just keep going. You know, it's like I keep saying. I mean, the motto I live with, I die by it. I mean, it's one foot in front of the other. You hustle, hit, and you never quit. I mean that. Like I said, I've lived with it ever since I've read it off of a wall. It's something that's just it's stuck with me throughout my whole entire life, and it's helped me, you know, become somewhat successful to where I'm at now.
Well, successful period. Because not because I invited you, I clearly found success, but it's like I viewed you successful, so that's why I messaged you most definitely. What was I just gonna say to relate? Oh man, hearing about seeing something. I read this book that said Green Lights, like it's a Matthew McConaughey book, and I get you see something once, and I fucking live by it now. Like I understand that.
It's either green lights, red lights, or yellow lights.
Well, all it means is green light. Like I'm just gonna keep fucking kind of the same concept. Just keep fucking going. I mean, and you hit a red light, you don't sit and wait for that fucker to turn green. You find another route, and green lights all the way. So awesome, man. Blah 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 blah. Same classmates in the high school, or did you switch schools like that?
Nah, we bounced around. I mean, we moved as kids, 11 to 15 times. I mean, there was one point where we lived in a van and a trailer park because we couldn't afford a trailer that was in the trailer park. And this was in Southfield when we first moved there. After that, we lived in Livonia on Fremont Street. We lost that house and we went to an apartment, a different school for 1 year. After that, we went to our cousin's house, lived in her basement for I think a year, 2 years, and then we went to Bradford Schools then, and then we went from there to Southfield, and that's when we lived in the van. Okay. We went to Southfield Schools for 4th and 5th, and then that's when we missed a year of school because my parents sent us away to live with our aunt and uncle back in Livonia until they were able to get the living situation figured out. Right. They got all that situated. We were then able to move back into Southfield and do a trailer going back to school. And then we moved into a trailer in Livonia on Joy Road. Then we did that. We went back to Livonia schools, and then we kind of just we went to Livonia schools the rest of the time, and then I went to Garden City my senior year. Right on. Well, there's a little bit of everywhere.
Man, well, two things. A lot of respect for your parents that just saying, "Hey, we're not good enough right now," and then sending you to live somewhere and then taking you back. That's a lot of respect, in my opinion. And B, fuck.
How was
Thank you.
school bouncing around like that? Like, were your grades good? Was it hard to
It was rough. I mean, as a kid, as a young kid, I mean, you look for stability. You look for, comfort, and you look for someone to, kind of like fall onto, and look up to. And when you don't have that, and you don't have those friends to turn to, or, the friend that, kind of cry on their shoulder, or just kind of like vent to, you kind of revert to other things. And for me, it led to boosting cars, getting mixed in with the wrong crowd, met wrong friends. Then one thing leads to another. You're boosting cars, you're jumping kids, so I mean, it's just you go down that wrong path. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, you live and learn. And in a way, I'm glad that that is the way that I was kind of forced to grow up. And I mean, I don't wish that upon anybody, but in a way, I kind of I don't think that I don't feel like people should grow up having, a golden spoon and silver one, so I mean, I don't know. I kind of see both ways.
Right.
The most successful people I've ever met have had hard childhoods. Like, seriously, the most successful people did not get it handed to them.
Well, it teaches you.
Really?
It's not great, but it does teach you how to thrive in adversity.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
To be able to overcome certain things.
Mm-hmm. It's like even all these billionaires that I read about, and all these successful people, not one of them got it handed. Not one. A lot of them didn't really get it handed to them. It's like the millionaires, they got it handed to them. But once you start talking like billions, it's like they didn't get that shit handed to them. They had a hard fucking childhood, et cetera, et cetera.
And a lot of them say that luck was a big.
Luck is the main contributor
Oh,
to any
yeah.
success story. I don't give a fuck who you
Yeah.
are, dude. It's
I
like-
mean, what I always tell people is, you get dealt a hand of cards. How you choose to deal with that hand of cards is on you. You know, I mean, there are some people who can't roll with the punches and they can't deal with the cards that are dealt. And I'm, rest in peace. Rest in peace their soul. I mean, I have plenty of friends that have passed away due to suicidal or overdose, or everything, etc. So I mean, the see how their life was and the struggles and the ups and downs, and they couldn't roll with the punches. And that's what kind of reverts back to the hustle, hit, never quit. I mean, that's, you got to roll with the punches, and you got to learn how to deal with the adversity, and you got to learn how to deal with those tough times to be able to embrace the great times. And like I always tell my wife and my son, we got to strive through the tough times to enjoy the great times. And I mean, that's just the way we live. I mean, that's just how you have to. You got you got to be focused. You got to be driven. You got to be motivated, and you got to be happy. That's most important.
I like how you threw that in there.
Yeah,
That is the most
you got to be
important.
happy.
When you go through like adversity though, was it hard for you to see what could be good after? Like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel?
Oh, of course. I mean, of course, when you're going through those hard times, you feel like it's never going to end. You feel like you're just drowning. I mean, that's kind of like the reason why I think I deal with depression as much as I do today. I mean, depression is heavy, and so you always go through those times where you're like, man, it's just never going to end. I'm drowning, and I feel like I'm drowning from the inside out, and you just feel like you have nobody, no one to turn to. You can't talk to nobody, and you don't know what to do. You feel like you're going to explode. So, I mean, there's constantly those days, and those are those days where you go to the gym and you take that deep breath, and you talk to your coach, you talk to your peers, you hit the bag, you do the exercises, you go through cardio, and then you leave the gym, you're like, wow, all right, let's rethink that now, or let's take that deep breath, let's talk about it like this now, or, let's talk to this person about that, and you just kind of get a different view, and of course that always helps, and then talking to your support systems, and it helps.
Fuck, you almost have to tear up there, dude. I don't think enough guys seriously talk about that. Like, really, that. So, yeah. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Going, that's funny about that. So, Garden High School. I'm not quite familiar where that's located. Is there a Garden City?
Yes,
Yeah,
there's.
Garden City.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Blah 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 blah. Did you have like a normal high school experience in terms of like prom dances, stuff like that?
Not exactly. So my freshman year, playing football, I fractured my C7 and snapped my vertebrae in half.
Oh,
Was put in the hospital.
That's breaking your back, right? Like going it down. That
medical fine.
That the knuckle in your neck.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So I was paralyzed in the hospital, 9 months, couldn't walk.
Paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
Like totally, or like legs, or
From
like
hips
that
down.
Oh, geez.
I was told I was never going to walk again. I was told I was never going to play contact sports again.
And now you're beating people's butt. You're like,
I told the doctor, I said, you're fired. I mean, I want to do physical therapy, so that physical therapy is going to make it worse. I said, well, if that's what you think, then I don't want you in my room. We want a different doctor. And I told my dad got us a different doctor, and that doctor said, listen, I'll allow you to do physical therapy if you can get yourself in that wheelchair and get yourself down there. I said, no problem. I said, I'm going to do it every day. He says, I only recommend 3 days. So I'm going to do it every day.
Okay.
So every day I'd wake up, I'd push the little help button, and I would kind of shimmy my way to the edge of the bed. And I was either going to throw myself off that bed or they were going to help me in that wheelchair. So you know how nurses are. They're not going to allow you to hit the floor. They're going to help you in the wheelchair. So that was my way of, I'm going, here I am. So, I mean, I was able to get in the wheelchair. I wheeled down there and we did the physical therapy. I taught myself how to walk again. 6 months later, I walked out looking off the doctor that told me I was never going to do it again. So, I mean, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your body. And you got to believe in the process. I mean, the Lord, obviously has plans for me. I'm not much of a religious type of person. I will say that. But I will say that I was blessed. And I will say that I was given opportunities that many weren't, and to be given my legs and to be having my hands taken to where like I don't have feeling in them because of it, it's just I was meant to fight. I was given hands and stones. So I mean, no feeling in my hands, but yet I got my legs back. Let's throw. That's kind of like the way I took it, and I ran with it ever since.
Yeah, dude, I am. Sometimes I smile so much, and I never want to come off like I'm in awe at the people that come on. Like seriously, I mean, it starts off like, oh, he's a fighter. This is gonna be cool, and then it turns into a rough childhood. And I'm like, okay, well, this is getting better. And then you find out you can't fucking walk, and now you fight. Like that's
He loves stories.
Stories save lives. Stories really save lives.
Yeah, it's adversity. Like you were saying.
I'm sorry if it's cold down here.
Oh no, not at all.
No, but the reason I got sober is not my story, but I always said the reason I got sober is because somebody's story saved my life. So that's why I do this. Maybe somebody watching that can't walk might walk because of you. And like I really think that black, because I think it's that black and white. I really do.
Well, I mean, my brother Nick, he's chugging along. I mean, he had a little freak accident a couple years ago now, maybe 2 years ago. He was jumping in a bounce house, and he tried to do a backflip. Ended up breaking his neck.
Damn.
And he's battling to teach himself how to walk as we speak. And
Okay.
he's living in Florida, and he is walking. I mean, he's not full of strength yet. He's not where he was, but he's walking. He's standing. He's walking with a cane. He's tugging along. I mean, to sit here and as his bigger brother and, say I'm proud, I mean, it's an understatement. I mean, to watch the kid battle back the way he has and, to see the kid, I mean, literally dead. I mean, on the table. I mean, he died 6 times on the table.
Fuck.
And to fight back and to continue to fight and to continue to keep chugging along and to live a good life now. I mean, he's chugging. I mean, like I said, I'm beyond proud of the kid. I mean, and if he was watching this, hey, bro, I mean, I'm proud of him. Also, I mean, 100%.
Yeah, that's a hard feat to tackle. My buddy, totally different scenario, drank himself into not being able to walk. Like drank himself, not stupid, but and he was able to get his legs back. But it's an impressive feat. Like that's impressive to me. So did you graduate?
I did.
Okay, right on. So I won't dig too much more into that. Is there anything you would do different?
Oh yeah. So in high school, I mean, I didn't really pay too much attention to the books. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you're a teenage kid. I mean, you got everything at your fingertips, and then you just, you grow up poor, and you're like, well, hold on a second. Now I'm able to do this. I'm able to see all these people. I'm able to go here and do this. That's what I did. So I took full advantage of that, and then I got a job. So, I mean, I took my job more seriously than I did schoolwork. And unfortunately, it costed me scholarships and so on and so forth. But so, I mean, if I was to do anything differently, it would be to pay more attention in the books, and not just wait until my senior year, and then play, catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that would be the only thing I would do differently is I'd be better in, high school, be better in the books, but that would be about it.
So when did you guys meet? Did you meet in high school? Did you meet after?
We kind of met in high school. So I was coming in, she was a senior graduating, and I would always see her, like, I'd be at lunch and she'd always be walking down the hallway to go into gym class, and I would always like catch, have that eye, but I was always too nervous to talk to her, so I waited too long, and she ended up graduating. Honestly, I never thought I'd see her again. We were actually, she was at a bar, at the family bar sidelines, and I just saw tickets. I had a fight coming up. My older brother, he was working there. He was the one that sold the majority of my tickets. So he's like, hey, I need more tickets. Come up here, bring me a stack of tickets. I'm like, all right, I'm on my way. Give me a little bit. I got to get in the shower. So I get in the shower, I go up to the bar, see her. I'm like, wait a minute, that's that chick, blah, blah, blah. So my cousin, he's like, dude, there's these 2 girls over here. They want tickets. Sure enough, it's her and her friend. I'm like, okay. So I go over there, I'm giving them the tickets. One thing leads to another. I wink at her as I'm walking away. She smiles ear to ear. I'm like, Bet. I get her a drink. We go and I'm over in the pool room or whatever. We're playing pool. She's on the dance floor. My cousin pushes me onto the dance floor. I'm not a dancer. So when I'm out on the dance floor, I see her dancing, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta make an impression. I gotta tell her what I do. Well, she's dancing, she's like doing her thing at her friends. So I'm like, that was it, we go outside, we're talking, and here we are. Almost 10 years later with a kid that's 5 years old. So I mean, can't complain.
We'd love to hear that.
I commend you. I have 2 left feet, so
Yeah,
I would
neither of us.
I would have lost that opportunity. And also, man, to sit here and to tell your story, I really want to say that I'm grateful and how nerve-wracking it can be. So thank you.
Oh no, dude. I mean, I appreciate you guys for allowing me to come out and tell my
Man,
story.
no, I just I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you more after, but thank you. Seriously.
Oh, 100%.
What was your first job and how long did you stay?
So my first job was landscaping.
You always, sorry to interrupt. Have you always been in that line of work?
No, not kind of always like a little bit back and forth.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, my first job was landscaping for Carl Swiger, Swiger's Landscaping in Livonia.
Okay.
He was like a big mentor. Kind of still is. I mean, the guy is a grinder. I mean, still at 58 years old, 60 years old. I mean, the guy's still out there every day, sun up to sundown, right?
Yeah.
Doing his thing. And
That's how you get rich.
I mean,
Type of guy who can't retire.
he's taking care of his grandson because his daughter had to move out of state to, build herself back up. And he took full custody of the kid, and he's raising his grandson on top of doing that. So, I mean, it's true inspirational. I mean, to see not only just a father, but a grandfather step up.
Yeah.
Because I know that's something that I necessarily wouldn't have for myself or my child. So, I mean, that's just to see someone else do that. I mean, it's just huge.
Oh, I can imagine, man. So why did you leave? And pardon me just for a second. It said you started at Stars and Strengths in 2012. So I must have wrote that note there because there must be a short gap there. So why did you leave, and how was it starting at Stars and Strengths?
So I'm still at Stars and Stripes.
Oh,
There was a little bit of a gap where I kind of went to dark side boxing.
okay.
And it was just a little short period of time. And it was honestly just to reconnect with my old boxing coach and just for him to correct my mistakes. I had flaws in my game. I knew that they were there, and I just didn't know how to correct them. And I knew that the only person that did was him, Coach Mo at Dark Side Boxing. And that's why I was able to go see him. And he took my took what my flaws were, and he was able to get rid of them. And now we're able to get rid of that blockage and add more to the arsenal.
Hell yeah, man. I'm sorry, I must have. Why did you leave landscaping? Why did you leave your first job at college?
So I was young, and just I wanted a better job. I mean, I was 14 working with him, 15. So I mean, I wanted a better job. I wanted more money, and the opportunity came, and I jumped all over it. So that's just what it came down to. When I was 18, I was able to go and work at hydro manufacturers and learn how to run a lathe machine and a mills machine. So at 18 years old, learning how to do that, and then becoming supervisor of the shop or whatever, because I put in so much dedication. I was the first one there, the last one to leave, and the owner he recognized it, and he recognized my efforts, and he made me supervisor. And mind you, everyone there was twice my age. So being their supervisor, being their boss, I mean, I was.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. I mean, I was looked at differently. I mean, but I had to earn the respect, and I think that kind of helped me in a way because it wasn't just given to me. I had to earn it. On top of that, so after gaining all the respect, it made me feel more like, hey, I belong here. This is, I worked here. I did this. This is why, he gave me this. I'm gonna, embrace it. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, man. I always say it, but clearly stories of success overlap. But it's just cool seeing it right in front of me because it's like yeah, fuck, you just told some of my story. Like I think that's really cool.
It's the work ethic and it's striving for something.
Yep.
Even if you don't know what something is yet, but you're still working towards something.
Oh yeah.
You know there's better. Like it don't matter what it is. And that don't mean the grass is greener. It just means there's gotta be something better.
And that's honestly that reverts to fighting. I mean, that's growing up being a fighter, learning how to be a fighter. I mean, you spend 18 years in combat sports doing this day in and day out, training, because you always know that there's going to be somebody else out there that's training twice as hard or that's better than you already. So you have to train twice as hard to either match their skill level or to be better than their skill level. So I mean, it's endless. You're constantly putting endless hours and you're constantly training in the dark when nobody's watching. You're training, and even if it's you not even doing anything and it's right here in your head, it's training, and that's a lot of people, they underestimate the value of the mind that goes into the fight game. I mean, it's more mental than it is physical, and a lot of people, they don't understand that aspect.
I'm going to jump a little bit ahead and skip some of my questions because I wrote that down. How important is mental toughness when you're talking about fighting? Like
Everything. Mental is everything. I mean, if you doubt yourself, you're going to doubt yourself in that ring. You're not going to throw those certain punches. You're not going to believe in yourself to do the things that you know that you're capable of doing. And when you believe in yourself and you have those confidence going into that ring, it changes everything because it's like a snowball going downhill. It's only going to get bigger. And once that ball it's starting going, and everything's connecting and everything's vibing, and you're on top of the world. But now when you go in there and you feel like you're doubting yourself, you feel like this person's better than you, he's faster than you, he hits harder than you. Now it's a scramble. Now it's like a panic. You're almost like looking for a survival, looking for, So yeah, I would definitely say mental is everything.
Would you say that you feel like rejuvenated or burned out after a fight?
I mean,
good question.
Honestly, it depends because there's been time, like obviously when you win, you feel like you're on top of the world. But there's times where when you lose, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to say this without making sense. So I took a fight. I went up weight class to 145. I fought a guy named Nathan Rivera, who's fighting tonight, and guy was much bigger than I was. I mean, he's 6'2", fighting at 145 pounds, but walks around at 185 pounds. And the day we fought, I want to say he was 173 pounds. So I mean, he was a lot bigger than me. But to lose to somebody like that and to be the only guy who took that person 5 rounds, regardless of taking a beating or not, you kind of still feel you did something. You feel good because, you're the only one that lasted 5 rounds with him. Yeah, you took an ass whooping, but at the same time, you're still standing. You're still able to call your kid. You're still able to say, hey, I love you, daddy's come home. So, like, those moments right there, it's a learning lesson more than anything else. So, yeah, I mean, you walk away feeling like you're still on top of the world because, 1, you're alive. 2, you learned because now I know I don't belong in 145. I'm not going to family class anymore. And then, you just, as much as I was getting my ass whooped in the ring against him, the things that he was throwing at me, he threw the way he was like snapping his jab, I kind of picked up on that. The way, like different certain things, like you go back to the drawing board and you like kind of like pick the fight apart, and some of the things that he was doing are like stuck right here. I'm constantly seeing them over and over again. Mm-hmm. And now it's converting over to and training, helping me now doing it to somebody else.
Right, progress, not perfection.
And that's it.
Perfect. Is there what disciplines have you trained in, if there's more than one?
Boxing, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, karate.
Jack of all trades there.
MMA, wrestling.
Okay.
Muay Thai. I think that's about it.
It's me asking as a joke.
Yeah.
What's the one?
You ever did the dance?
That's really good.
I was thinking the same thing.
I never trained it, like master or like been trained it or anything like that. But a lot of my footwork and the way I move and my head movement and all that stuff comes from that. Watching the way they move, watching that drunk style, just loose, effective movements. It's more tricking the mind, tricking the eyes than anything else. So like moving like that, and I take that big step. Now my lead foot's in position to where now you didn't really catch that because now you're paying attention to all this other shit. Yep. So like those little things I picked up on, and I kind of like added to more like saying more, here and not like all loose like how they are, but it's more here and more solid movement. But you're using those big steps, those little dancing movements, those little head movements, or whatever else to kind of get your opponent to come forward. Yeah. And if you watch me spar, I mean, it shows. I mean, it looks like I'm dancing. I mean, it looks like I'm out there just having too much fun. I mean,
have you ever thought of taking like I know some people take ballet, like football players will take ballet, things like that.
I never thought about the ballet thing. But I did. There was a time where I was doing yoga. And I thought that was really beneficial. Just with like learning how to breathe, controlling your breathing, and stretching. I mean, that's obviously what we lack most of as fighters. Is a lot of us, we get to that stage where we're like, oh, we don't need to stretch. Oh, working on that, And then 3 hours later, like, dude, I wish I would have stretched. And to mention, I mean, I'm getting old now. I'm 32 years old. I'm not a spring chicken anymore at 18 years old. Being able to dance in circles and touch my toes anymore. So it's a little rough.
You think you're getting old at 32? She's almost at 30.
I turned 30 in July.
A heart attack about it. I'm gonna be 18.
Yeah.
Funny. What's the biggest challenges you faced early in your career?
Going through health conditions and fighting while going through the health conditions. I mean, there was times where I fought knowing that my kidneys were already messed up, and there was times that I fought knowing that like I should have backed out, or like I need to back out of this fight because something's not right with this injury over here, or my rib, or something going on. But I never was able to bring myself to make that decision, so I would definitely say like that was one of my toughest challenges throughout my amateur career. I mean, still to this day, through my professional career. And if it wasn't for my management team with Storm Management, I mean, I'd probably be the same way. I mean, I'm lucky and I'm blessed to actually have Storm Management and the coaches that come from Storm Management and the coach I have now at Stars and Strikes, who care about my health and take my health more into consideration than I do myself.
There was a professional fighter. I'm sorry to interrupt. What's his name? Used to be a Marine. God, book Tom Kennedy. Tom.
I don't know.
Kennedy?
Maybe that's what it is. But his book's called Stars and Strikes. Is there any?
I don't think that. No.
Yeah, I read his book and it was very enticing, and I don't know why I just clicked.
Would
Stars and
you
Strikes.
say that fighting is your purpose? And if it is, when did you realize that?
I would definitely say fighting is my purpose, my passion, what makes me. I would definitely agree to that. And I would say I figured that out when I made the switch over from boxing to MMA. And I was able to get in the cage and fight somebody who had been wrestling their whole entire life. And to go through those different adversities, to have to, switch up your footwork and to have to go through, switch up your arsenal, to add to your arsenal, to, be ready for the takedowns, to, go from boxing to where it's strictly stand up to now you have to worry about a takedown, elbow, a knee, something like that. So, I mean, when I was able to win that fight and go on to become the 135 champion, and then later on as an amateur become the number one 135er and the number one 125er in the state of Michigan, that's what kind of opened my eyes to a bigger picture. Like, hey, I can go pro. I can do this. Like I gotta believe in myself now. I mean, look at I'm making it. It's on paper now. So that's when it opened my eyes to so much more. But when I went pro as a MMA fighter, it was I didn't have a management team. So I mean, it was I was getting thrown to the wolves. I was being lied to by promoters about my opponents. I was being told, they were 0-2 strikers. Come to find out, they're 4-5 or 4-year All-American college wrestlers. So and those were like the adversities that I had to go through as a young debuter or young pro cage fighter, and that's when I was like kind of at the point to where I wasn't doing really good. I was a 5-6 pro or something like that as a MMA, and I was ready to hang him up. I was, we were having those, those conversations to where like I was just like, all right, look, I got my son now. It's time to start, putting into his life and watching him grow and dedicating more to him. Yeah. And then bare knuckle came out. I seen the bare knuckle dropped out, and I'm like, well, hold on a second. There's a new combat sport. This is down more my alley. And before I could even, go to my wife and say, hey, what do you think about this? I mean, she was pretty much slapping me in my forehead and saying, you're stupid if you don't do it. So, I mean, it was just like a no-brainer. I mean, we got in the car. We drove 12 and a half hours to Alabama with our kid that was a year and a half old at the time. I did the tryout. I got a little discouraged because, again, I didn't hear anything back. So I'm like, okay, they didn't like me. My skills obviously weren't good enough or something like that, So then I got discouraged, and then all of a sudden I had a manager reach out to me. And he's like, hey, I got you. We want to, sign you on to, a 3-fight contract and then get you into the BKFC. I'm like, is this legit? Like, are you messing with me? Is this real, dude? He's like, no, this is legit. We're going to get you a fight. We want you to fight this guy, yada, yada, yada. Sweet, let's make it happen, and one thing led to another, and here we are today. So, I did switch management teams when I fought Nathan Rivera at 145. After that fight, I was able to switch to Storm Management, and that's who I'm with now. And I wouldn't change that for anything. I mean,
I already look at you kind of. I'm very open with my opinions. I already look at you kind of like a badass. Like, see, like there's somebody that's willing to do that. I have a lot of respect for people fighting or army, whatever. For you to say that you went from gloves to no gloves, this is even cooler. That's fucking hardcore.
Now, is there tape? Like, you tape or
well, so the tape is 2 fingers down from the knuckles, so all the tape is from here down.
Okay.
And it stops right here. It's literally, that's all it is. You get one little piece of tape that comes right through here, and then all of it's right here. So it's honestly just the back of your hand. But I mean, if you look at my hand,
they took a beating. Well, somebody else's face.
I have a wife question. So when he gets if he gets tore up, how do you handle that?
Honestly, I'm fine. I grew up with 2 older brothers. They used to get into fights.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen it all, been around it all. I'm like the caretaker. And I don't think he's really had one that's done to it. Not even with this. There was only one, and it's when he had a health.
I had rhabdomyolysis. I don't know if you guys
And
are
that
too
was during
familiar with it.
MMA.
So rhabdomyolysis is where your tissues, your muscle tissues breaks down into your kidneys and it does something to your bloodstream. However, it like shuts down everything.
So the proteins break down and it's filtering through your kidneys and it's
it can't
going to
filter.
kidney failure.
It's not able to filter through your kidneys because of all the muscle tissue breakdown. It clogs your kidneys.
Okay.
So all that stuff, it's just blocking now. So it makes you weak. And this happened to me in a fight. I mean, I made the walkout. I felt weird the day before at weigh-ins. My legs kind of felt weird. I know, honestly, they felt heavy. So I kept saying something to her. I'm like, something just don't feel right. Something's wrong. And said something to my coach. He's like, you just got a lot of weight. Let's just get hydrated. Yada yada yada. Yeah. So I was drinking my Gatorade. I was, doing everything to get hydrated back up, and nothing was working. I mean, I felt like I was just weak. So the next day, I woke up, day of the fight, and I'm like, all right, I feel better. I feel good. I'm stretching. I'm, I'm able to move. We go up. We're doing our warm up. We're doing everything, and I felt good. He's like, how's your leg? Good. I'm feeling good. We do my warm up. I'm good. I'm able to kick. I'm good. We make the walkout, run out to the cage like I always do. I get there, and right to the cage. I do my thing like I always do. I get in the cage, and then all of a sudden, like I started getting that feeling again. Like, oh shit, I'm like getting tired again. Like something ain't right, you know. So my opponent comes in, and we touch gloves. Well, the referee tells us, let's go get it on or whatever. So I come out, and as soon as like I went to put my hands up, it was like, oh my god, why are they so heavy? So I got on my ear. Oh my god, like, they don't want to stay there anymore. Like I just felt like my body was just shutting down as the fight was going on. This guy beat the brakes off me. I mean, he hit me with probably everything he had in his arsenal: elbows, knees, takedowns, slams. I mean, submission after submission, and he just could not put me away. Couldn't knock me out. He couldn't submit me. He couldn't do anything. We went all 3 rounds, 3 5-minute rounds. After the fight, we ended up going to the hospital.
Yeah, it was bad. That's the only one that ever bothered me. But he also cut down 10 extra pounds that he wasn't supposed to because they told him the wrong weight class. It was so bad.
So just bad.
That's the bad promoters and not having a management team. And that's what it comes down to.
Fair enough.
So do you guys have a ritual, like either do you have a ritual like before and after, or do you guys do something together before and after that is something that you do like every fight?
No, not really. No.
Fair enough. How do you recover physically and mentally?
After fight or
Yeah.
just I recover with a lot of THC and
Good enough.
a lot of relaxation. Quality time, honestly, with my family. I mean, that the whole workup leading up to a fight. I mean, your family's who takes the beating the most. I mean, they sacrifice. I mean, not only am I sacrificing time away from my family, being at the gym and being at work all day, being away from them, but you go through a wake up, and you go through mood swings as well, because when you can't eat, you can't, drink something, or you can't have something, your body, is wanting or craving. Excuse me. You go through like I said, mood swings.
Yeah.
You get irritated. You feel your blood boiling from inside. So your family is who takes that whipping latch that falls, that you're falling back on, because who do you take it out on most? The people you love.
Yep.
So unfortunately, my wife, my kids, they're the ones that when I'm cutting weight, they're the ones that go through that, and so now that I'm able to take my training camps and go somewhere else out of state for a whole month, 2 months, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a lot easier on them because, excuse me, at the same time as me being away, it puts more on her because now she has to do more with the kids.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, my family are the ones that sacrifice more than I would say I do. So when I get in the ring, and I know that, me knowing that, me training as hard as I did, and putting all that on my shoulders, I have to get back to them.
Yeah.
And so that's my way of going in there and training as hard as I can, day in and day out.
Yeah.
I mean, I train for 12-hour days while I'm in Florida. So that whole month that I'm away, and afterwards, now it's time to get back to them. Now I'm coming home. I want to spend nothing but time with them, cherish that, that lost time, and make up for it.
You're a good man.
I try.
It takes a good woman.
Yeah. It takes an empire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I give like a little what's the word I'm looking for? So about 15, 20 minutes and we'll wrap up. I just now that doesn't mean I don't say it so you like talk quick or anything. Just so when I'm like, okay, thank you for coming, you're not like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I'm trying to give a little notice. Jesus. Is there anybody specific you would like to face?
Ooh. Yeah. There's a few people that I want to face. Everybody that's in that top 10, I mean, they have targets on their back, and I'm coming for them. I mean, I'm coming for that number one spot. That person that's standing in that number one spot right now is somebody that I've already fought.
Okay.
and it's somebody that I consider that I've already beat.
Hell yeah.
Considering that we were in his hometown and he had his hometown judges, I mean, he was able to get the fight to go his way.
Yep.
Now look back at that fight and you watch the video yourself, you tell me who won. And I mean, the whole world knows it. His whole state knows it. His coach didn't even think it. I mean, so I mean, I would definitely like to see Justin Everola again.
Okay.
It's coming soon. But yeah, I'm coming after everybody in the top 10.
Perfect.
So-
That shit into existence.
Other than the training and the hardness with the family, how is your career impacted your life in positive and negative ways?
Oh, huge.
Other than what we just touched on.
So being a fighter in general, I mean, it's changed my life tremendously. I mean, it's gotten me away from the negative people in my life that were dragging me down that rabbit hole that I didn't need to go down. Being a fighter has showed me that light at the end of the tunnel of depression, showing me that, you know, there is a point where I can release and that I can, you know, take my deep breath and I can come back and count to 10. So, I mean, yeah, fighting has changed everything for me. I mean, the only time I feel free and the only time I feel like I can actually be 100% myself and no limitations is when I'm in that ring and my opponent's standing in front of me. You know, I don't know what that says about me, but I mean, yeah, I would definitely say it's changed my life tremendously. I mean, it's right next to, you know, having my son. I mean, that was the other thing that, you know, changed my life tremendously. Between those two things, I mean, I would definitely say that's what consolidates me as the man I am today.
Awesome. You know the old saying about the warrior in a garden compared to the gardener in a war or whatever. Do you think you're more dangerous because you're dangerous, or do you think you're more dangerous because you can control it?
I think I'm more dangerous because I can control it. I mean, I constantly believe, and this is why this is a sword or a dagger, because iron sharpens iron. So knowing that, and you know, being a fighter, you always want to train with the best. You always want to work with the guy that's better than you are, because it's only going to make you better.
Yep.
So that's why we got the dagger. That's why, you know, that's what that stands for. And that's what I live for. You know, iron sharpens iron. So, I mean, to answer your question, I mean, that's.
Well, dude, it's funny you say that, because the whole iron, I've always said it, you know, if you want to be the seventh millionaire, you have to sit at the table with 6 million. If you want to be the seventh bum, you sit at the table with 7 bum. You know, little different, but kind of the same idea. You know, it's funny. You said something earlier and I skipped it. So you said boosting cars and whatnot. Did you ever get in any serious trouble, or did you kind of just go away?
I was honestly fortunate enough to never face legal trouble.
Perfect.
Cool. However, I did face other troubles. I mean, I went down, you know what I'm saying, that rough path, and you know, obviously you have friends that do it as well, and
Yeah.
you know, you lose friends in the interim. So to have a friend, you know, be lost and, you know, to be honestly taken from you, honestly, I mean, and have them go while he's in your arms. I mean, that's rough, and that's something that, you know, you'll never be able to let go or look past.
It's a different kind of pain.
Yeah, definitely. I went to jail boosting and shit. I think I'd rather have gone to jail. So I'm sorry for it. I'm sorry that you went through that. Geez, what are you most? You already answered that. Is there any advice that you would give to new fighters?
Oh yeah, be a sponge. I mean, being a new fighter, this isn't a game. This isn't something that you can just pick up like a controller and say, hey, you know what, I want to be a fighter today. It doesn't work that way. Being a fighter is a lifestyle. It's something that takes a lot of sacrifices, a lot of grit, and a lot of what's that other word? Upsets.
Okay.
You're gonna go through the battles. You're gonna go through the ups and downs. You're gonna be there. You're gonna have those days where you struggle. You're gonna have those days where you're like, you know what, this isn't for me. I need to hang it up.
Yeah.
And those are the days that you need to bite down and fight through it the most, because those are the moments that make you or break you. And if you can make it through those times and you can make it through the hard times, you're only going to enjoy those those easy days,
Yeah, yeah.
those days where you're able to take that breath and you're sparring somebody else and it's not as hard. You're only going to be able to enjoy that and teach that kid that's standing in front of you or that other person in front of you so much more than, beating their ass or whatever else. So, I mean, when I started off, I mean, I was getting my ass whooped every day, and I was that kid that I was angry, so I was just in there, and you're getting nowhere, but you're just exhausting yourself. And I had really, I was really fortunate to have 3 good training partners. And they're really awesome today. I mean, they're doing great in their own careers, fighting still. Rico O'Quinn, he's a fighter who's he was able to get me to embrace my anger, kind of get me to like sit back and think more. Stop being this rager, someone that just throws and brawls. Yeah. But instead, sit back and pick your shots. And when he said that to me, pick your shots. Like made me wake up. Like, hold on a second. I have time to pick my shots. I have time to do that. Well, hold on. Let's try that. And then it was just like one thing led to another. And the more that I kept coming back, and the more I kept training, the more we concentrated on that, and the more I was able to learn how to embrace the anger and make it and turn it into good outcomes versus bad.
Like honing it. Yeah.
So I wrote a couple notes here, but I think I got it wrong. Are you a CNC operator currently?
I am not currently. No,
Okay.
I right now I do concrete day in day out.
Right on.
That's it.
Two hard fucking jobs,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I did concrete for a side job, but I'll say 2 days. I did it for my boss that I worked, for years, but I had to cut concrete. I commend you. Fuck that. Mind, water or nothing. Dude, I was logging on a block.
Yeah, we cut whole driveways. We'll do parking lots. We do everything. We do patios, porches, driveways. I'll do that all day long, and then leave there and go to the gym for another 3-4 hours after that.
Yeah, that's hard.
You're fucking brutal, dude. Yeah, man. Well, I don't have much else. That's good.
We do have our
Yeah. So every day every podcast I ask the same thing. At the end. So like these are always going to be the same questions. Is there anything that I should have asked that I didn't?
No, I think that we covered pretty much everything from the time I was a little boy to where I'm standing now. So
Perfect.
I definitely appreciate you guys.
Of course, man. That's just make sure I did my job right. Seriously. Is there anything that you would like to share?
No.
It could be anything. It could be shout outs. It could be like information people didn't know that you want them to. Anything like that.
I do want to give a shout out to Westfit Nutrition, Mike Toller. That guy. Without him, he's like everything for me. He's my mental coach. He's my life coach. He's that life mentor. He's the guy I look up to. He's the guy that gets me through those dark times. So I definitely want to give him a shout out, and a shout out to the rest of my sponsors out there. Stars and Strikes, Gypsy Souls, Smith Brothers, Storm Management. Those are all the people that stand by me and support me the most. So,
oh yeah, dude, that's cool to have sponsor, man. That gotta make you feel fucking. Man, that's so cool. What is your definition of success?
Being able to give back. I feel like being successful is being at that point to where you're not worried to look at the price tags. You can go into a store and not have to look at that price tag and not have to worry about, oh my God, am I spending too much?
Yep.
So I want to be able to get to that point to where I'm able to not have to worry about looking at those price tags, so that not only just for myself, but so that I can give back to the families that can't do that, to the families that can't pay for their kids to play sports because it's $125 for flag or $225 for pads or whatever else.
Yeah.
I want to pay for that. I want to give to all those families that can't do that, so that there is no kids left behind like I was, or so on and so forth. I want better for our world. I want better for our people, and that's what I fight for, and that's what I'm here today, doing what I know best to give back. And that's it.
Fucking A, dude. Fucking A, man. I like that.
So If you could sum up your entire journey from where you started to where you are going to be, what would it be in one word?
Say it one more time.
You could describe your entire journey where you started to where you're going, like where you're going to end. You don't know what it is, but what's one word that would describe everything you've ever went through?
Nightmare.
Nightmare?
Hey, dude, this question was just one time randomly, and it stuck. Not every person. Well, awesome. So before you go, I give out a gift card at the end of every episode. This week, because you traveled, I got it from Citgo gas station. There you go. Citgo is a United States-based refiner, transporter, and marketer of transportation fuels, lubricants, petrochemicals, and other industrial products. I'm reading all this. It's just a gas card. Headquartered in the energy corridor area of Houston, it is majority owned by PDVSA, a state-owned company of Venezuela.
We try to stay local, but when people travel from out of town, it's really hard to stay local.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm glad you guys had me come out to Jackson. Like I said, this brings back a lot of memories for me because, like they said, this is where it all began for me. So coming out here and, you know, becoming the 135 champion originally was what opened my eyes to where I'm at today. So thank you guys for having me.
One last thing before you go, can we find my table? Yep. See you guys later. Enough. That was good, Katie.